I'm going to briefly be discussing here the increased polarization of the two camps in the Amanda Knox affair. What is very evident is that the Italian perception of the case and the English perception differed very much from the American perception. Of course, Meredith was from England, and the press of her country reflected a feeling that justice had not been fully served with just Rude's, rightly or wrongly, with Rude's arrest. And although the Kircher family remained extraordinarily reserved and had extraordinarily dignity and I would say integrity, you definitely felt that in England generally, and perhaps the Kircher family believed that Amanda and Raffaele were somehow involved. And then it became clear with the successive, with the liberation and now with the condemnation again, that in fact they do believe that Amanda and Raffaele were involved in their sister's death, their daughter's death. In the United States, on the other hand, this is my perception. I just like to state for the record that I am American so that people don't think I'm just sitting here bashing a country which is not mine. It appears to me fairly clearly that a lot of people started with an a priori judgment, and that is Amanda's innocent, or almost Amanda has to be innocent. She's an American girl, she's wholesome, she's pretty, she's the girl next door, she's the apple pie, she's the honor student, she's the hippie. And I think, as Diane Sawyer says, or somebody said in the introduction to her interview, and I think that's a very salient point, that this case and the way you view it, it's like looking through a kaleidoscope, and according to how it turns, it takes on different configurations. And what I find particularly striking is the fact that almost every piece of evidence or hearsay or allegation can either tend to underline the guilt of Raffaele and Amanda, if that's your perspective, or point towards their innocence. There's so many examples. I won't go into all the particulars here because this is just more of a general presentation. But what strikes me is a lot of Americans, probably in very good faith, think she was framed by an inquisitorial medieval Italian judicial system. Things were leaked to the press, lurid details, there was character assassination involved, her rights were violated, her rights would be violated if they asked for extradition now, if the cassation court confirms the verdict because of double jeopardy. So the American perspective, not all Americans of course, I'm an American who's lived his whole life abroad. I've traveled widely and I've been in Italy and I actually studied in Perugia, which is what initially got me interested in the case. But a lot of Americans naturally, I think, have this defensive reaction. They want to believe that Amanda's innocent. Now, I'm not stipulating whether she is or isn't because I don't know. Now, I'm not going to sit here and have the arrogance to say that I know. So many people say, I know she's guilty or I know she's innocent. She's 300% innocent. We can all understand, of course, perfectly her family not being able to face the possibility, or her friend Paxton, who seems like such a wonderful young lady, not being able to face even the possibility. How could a mother think, is it possible that my daughter, like blank denial. The father, Kurt, it's a little bit more tricky, I think, because a lot of people observed that he was angry in court and his face was red during the first trial. Barbie Nadal described him up close, and other people also that I've read, which I find very interesting.